I could be an animal doula, I'd get behind that. I would love to just
a professional
birth.
animal doula.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I could totally be
Listen,
the doula to help birth any type of baby.
I'm 100% creating a logo for that in my mind right now, and it might pop up in your text messages later this week.
Hey there. Welcome to Parties to Playdates. I'm Kendall.
And I'm Jess. We're here to fill your day with warmth and laughter.
Join us as we navigate the chaos and joy of everyday life.
We're all about sharing real-life moments with a dash of humor and practical tips.
So grab your coffee and settle in for a cozy chat.
Because here, every moment is a story worth sharing.
No topic is off limit.
And every listener is a friend.
Let's get this party started. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Good. I feel like the weekend was very long.
Mine felt so quick.
But I don't know why it felt long.
How was Andrew's Father's Day?
It was good. I so dropped the ball because I really wanted to do the beard dinner. And I literally had them in my cart. I found super cheap ones on Amazon and I talked to the kids. They were all down. And then I don't know why, but I just forgot to order them. And then
That's okay. Happens.
I thought I had another week. And then somebody was like, oh yeah, Father's Day on Sunday. And I was like, oh, and it was like 2 days away. And I'm like, whoa, we're not doing that.
You're like, we can draw beards on.
So all the kids were like, what are we doing? What are you doing? I was like, figure it out. I don't know. Like, you go do something.
Get creative.
No. I was sitting around thinking, what can I do? What can I do? And we had planned to go hang out with some people and barbecue and stuff like that. And I made some yummy food, but he was sleeping in and I was looking around and I was like, oh, I'm going to mow the grass.
Stop it.
Yeah. So I totally mowed the grass and he came downstairs a little bit after, right as I was finishing. And he was like, what are you doing? You like felt like messing with the weed whacker. And I was like, no, I thought it would be nice to do it for Father's Day since it's so hot outside. And the last time you mowed the lawn, you almost died. Because last time he mowed it, it was so hot that day. Mm-hmm. And he came in and was like, I got to sit down. I need to drink some water. I don't feel okay. So it was warm. But you know what? I consider it a win because I mow the lawn in my swimsuit because I want a tan.
Heck yeah. And I also don't get why men always do it when it's hot.
Yeah.
Do it when the sun's setting.
Yeah.
I know it's early and you guys have neighbors, but do it at 8 o'clock.
Well, honestly, we could mow our lawn so early because it's an electric lawnmower.
Oh, it's
and
quiet.
It's like,
oh my God, get up at 5. Do it in the dark.
So quiet. I'm like, we could totally do this at nighttime, but I didn't think about it till the middle of the day. So it was definitely hot. But you know what? I got done and I was like, ooh, look at this glow. I was like,
and it's like dewy.
It was. Then I forgot how dirty you get when you mow the lawn. There was dirt all over me and grass everywhere.
You're like, someone turn the sprinklers on.
I was like, this is good. I really wanted to just get out my tanning pool and fill it up and just lay in it.
You should have.
We didn't have time for that. We had places to be. So I just had to wash off all the grime and then get out of there.
Oh, that's great. That's a really nice gesture, though.
So, yeah. He was like, oh, that's really nice. He's like, how do you feel after mowing the lawn? I was like, I'm a little wore out. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah.
But it was good. What about you guys?
We started the morning off. Maverick's been coming into our bed every morning, which has been really lovely. Yeah. And it lets us I just keep sleeping and he's so cute. He jumps in our bed and he gets in between us. And actually this morning he's been trying to find pillows to put behind his head because he wants to lay back and watch TV. But he's so flat he can't see it. So we have to put a pillow behind him. So he's been stealing Ryan's pillow. So poor Ryan literally doesn't get a pillow. And then today Ryan went into his bedroom, grabbed his pillow, brought it to him, put it behind him. And he laid there for literally 1 second, got up, flew his pillow, grabbed Ryan's pillow, and put it behind him.
She's like, I need a better one.
And we were like, oh my God. But it's nice. He lays there and watches TV or a movie and Ryan goes on his phone and I get to sleep for another hour. It's fantastic. So we did that. And then I went to the bakery that morning and got him 3 different things from the bakery here in Freeport. And then, I guess he said it was really good. I've never been there. It was like the weirdest bakery ever. But I got him a cinnamon roll, of course, ham and cheese scone, which was interesting because I've never seen like a savory scone.
Yeah.
And then a bacon, egg, and cheese roll, but it was like a muffin.
Yeah.
But he said they were all really tasty.
Yeah.
And then we surprised him with all of his gifts. And then we spent like an hour trying to figure out where Ryan was going to get a pedicure.
On a Sunday. That's a little tricky.
Sundays are always tricky, but it's weird. I was like, Ryan, I always go on Sundays because that was the only time I could ever go. And I told him, I was like, go to the same one that I always go to. It's great. It's easy. They always have somebody willing to get you in as quick as possible. And it's right next to Chronicles where you can get a cocktail.
Oh.
Yeah. He's like, what are you guys going to do? I was like, well, I'll drop you off. And it's only an hour.
Yeah.
I was like, Mav and I can walk around. We'll go next door. We'll go play. There's a field. I'll go get a drink somewhere, whatever. And that's exactly what we did. We dropped him off. We went over to Chronicles. I got him a cocktail. We walked it right back over.
I love it.
I know.
Florida, man.
Yeah, it was great. Because I know so many people at Chronicles. They're like, oh, what is Ryan doing today? I was like, oh, he's actually next door getting a pedicure. I was like, I'm going to drop him off a cocktail. They're like, oh my God, that's fantastic.
I love it.
And then Mav and I went over. We got a smoothie, which Maverick drank the whole smoothie. He loved it, which I was shocked about. And then we played in that grass field in that little area. We went into Alvin's Island. We went into all the shops. He rode his bike around. Yeah, and then Ryan literally like surprised me. He walked right back out, and I was like, you were supposed to call me. I was supposed to pay for it. He's like, it's already done. I was like, oh my God. And then we went to lunch. He wanted crawfish, of course, so we went and had crawfish. And then that's my parenting win. I can't think of the last time we had a really good parenting win, but we sat at lunch, and usually Maverick gets too busy and he wants to get out and he wants to run. So we put a TV on, one of our phones up with something for him to watch, which I know so many people hate, but you know what? It is what it is at this point. If you want to have a good lunch and not.
Dude, when my kids were little, if I would have had that, I probably would have taken advantage of it.
100%.
Because it's a natural distraction.
And he's fine. He's happy. And then guess what? He actually eats more when he's focused on something. Yeah. But yesterday we didn't need to pull our phone out once.
Oh, that's awesome.
It was amazing because he loves coloring right now. Anything with crayons. Honestly, he even colored the table. He colored things on the table, off the table, himself, everything. So we just didn't even care. But he was coloring the paper that they gave him for a while. And then his food came, which he was super stoked about. And he was totally into that. And he was starving because he actually didn't have breakfast yesterday. He never asked for food that morning. So we were just like, whatever. We'll just wait for lunch. And then we know he'll be hungry.
Yeah.
And then randomly, there was little shop girls walking around with neutral samples.
Yeah.
And Ryan just kept having all these samples of the neutrals. It was so funny. And they came in like the cutest little plastic cups.
So
they were like little shot glasses.
Yeah.
We would fill that up with water or ice cubes and give it to Maverick. And that gave him something to do for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then if we gave him ice cubes, it was even longer. So we were like, oh my gosh, we just need to be more creative on things to give him and offer. We're like, could we just have 15 cups of ice, please?
Yeah.
So literally there was ice cubes all over the table.
Oh my
and
God.
he was putting them in different cups and then he was cracking himself up. It kept him so busy. We were like, oh my God, we never turned on a movie once.
That's awesome.
And it made us so happy.
Yeah.
And it made him happy. And then we came home. We all took literally 3-hour nap.
Oh,
I had to wake Maverick up. It was 6:30. I was like, we have to wake him up. Oh my God. And then we watched some TV and then we went and had Chinese food.
Nice.
Yeah.
What a wonderful day.
It was fabulous. And he drank all the champagne.
I love it.
It was great. But today, do you want to tell a story?
Oh, yeah.
Because that was my story.
So it's summertime and my kids are all on random schedules. And so I can't even tell you when my kids will be awake during the day in my house. Sometimes I'll come downstairs at 5:30 to go to the gym and Blaze will be awake from the night before.
Oh my.
And then he'll go to bed at 3 in the afternoon or I don't know. They're all on different schedules. I have no idea when people are awake. I just make food and just leave it. And then somebody eventually eats it. And the other day, it was probably 4 or 5 in the afternoon. And my 15-year-old son comes downstairs and he's like, hey, Mom. I was like, hey, what's up? And he's like, when did everybody wake up? And I was like, it's 4 in the afternoon. I'm like, I woke up at 5 a.m.
Like you always do.
Like I always do. And he was like, oh, really? And I was like, yeah, do you know how much shit I've done today? You guys need to get your life together. I don't know what's happening in this house. I was like, when did you wake up? He's like, like 30 minutes ago. So it's like, I don't even know. And then this morning I come back from the gym and I'm making my breakfast and he's like, hey mom. And I was like, hey, you still up from last night? He's like, yeah. I was just like, okay.
That is crazy.
Okay. I'm just like, everybody's living their best life, but he's about to start back with wrestling practice for the summer. And I'm like, that's going to get you back on a schedule.
100%.
Even though it is in the afternoon, thankfully. If not, he probably would die.
Even when I was in high school, because they're all in high school.
Oh, 3 out of 4
3
now.
out of 4. Even middle school and high school, I don't ever remember staying up all night long, even summertime. Because I was like, we were all just, we're going to the beach tomorrow. Gotta go to sleep. We gotta go to the beach tomorrow in the morning.
Well, yeah.
I never stayed up like that.
We were always having to do yard work and my mom had chores and there was stuff we had to do. We were exhausted. We didn't have the energy to stay up all night.
Yeah.
And we literally had stuff to do the next day or we had jobs we had to go to. So I'm like, you guys needed a job.
Has your 15-year-old ever had a job?
He hasn't.
Yeah.
He's talked about it, but with wrestling and stuff.
Can you be 15 with a job?
You can. Publix will hire you at 15. Maybe even 14.
I just feel like that's kind of young, but that's just me.
He does like odd jobs in the neighborhood for neighbors and stuff.
Yeah.
That helps him move or helps with yard work kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So just little jobs like that, which I feel like it's not like he has a bunch of stuff to spend money on, to be honest.
Right. It's at this point, it's like, I guess if they go out to lunch or something, or, I mean, they're
Or
sleeping
like they're
through
going-
lunch.
I know. They're like going to go to a movie with their friends, which is few and far between, or like going, I swear they just spend their money on video games.
I was going to say, or if they like online shop, which I don't know if that's a thing, but I guess video games technically is online shopping.
Yeah. So I don't know. But I'm just like, if you're going to play a sport and you have to go to all these things, I'd rather you just play a sport and I'll give you money to go to the movies on the rare occasion that you go to the movies.
Right.
So, and I feel like boys are so much less social than girls and they're less into like doing things. So
I can see that.
Whenever they want to do something, I'm like, yeah, here's $40 because you never go anywhere.
Yeah. Your girls are like, what are you using this for?
I know.
For who and what and where?
So, you're lucky I have money left over just after paying for all your sister's stuff.
That's true. That's very true.
Thankfully, they both have jobs, so they pay for their own things. So.
That's true too.
So nobody has a normal schedule in my house except for me. So freaking weird. And I'm probably the only person in my family that is actually a morning person. So I'm on my own.
Yes, you are. And honestly, that's probably nice. It's quiet.
Oh, I don't mind it at all.
Unless they're still up. But I'm like,
well, by that time they're pretty wore out, so they're pretty quiet.
That's
chill. True. But it is funny sometimes when I'm visiting with them and they've been up all night and I'm putting on my shoes to start my day. I'm like, this is such a weird conversation.
Yeah.
What's funny, this morning I went to make my breakfast and I was like, what is on the stove? Something had boiled over. It was just a weird brown color. I was like, what were they cooking in the night? And then my 15-year-old came in and he's like, how do I clean that off? I was like, with a scrubber? I was like, what is that? And he was like, oh, I ended up making those French dips and it was the au jus. And the au jus, he's like, I tried to pour it into a bowl, but I did it over the stove. And so it spilled all over the place. And he's like, but the burner was hot. So it
sizzled.
Like seared into it. And then it was too hot to clean off. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, I'm glad you whipped up the leftover French dip, honestly, because I feel like I love French dips because they're super fast and easy, but I always buy too much meat and then it gets put in the fridge and then it goes bad. Like nobody's just randomly eating roast beef on its own. I don't know why. They love French dips and they'll eat them, but they don't ever
the poor
just
roast beef.
eat the roast beef. It always dies. So I'm like, thank God somebody actually finished some of the roast beef.
That's so funny. I don't know why, but roast beef is such a funny word to me.
It is. Because it sounds like roast beast.
Yeah.
It always makes me think of
the Grinch.
The Grinch, yeah.
Yes.
So.
Maybe that's what makes me giggle.
Anyways.
That's funny.
So, what are we talking about today, Kendall?
Well, speaking of some of your kids having jobs, let's talk about the jobs we've had in the past and like what we thought our careers would be.
Yeah.
Well, my very first job, I was actually 18. I think I was 18. I started working, obviously babysitting and all that stuff, but getting paid by the government.
Yeah.
Or by somebody else.
I feel like babysitting can definitely count as a first job though, because you can make bank.
Oh yeah,
babysitting.
You can.
So
especially here and nowadays, everyone expects at least $20 per child.
Yeah.
So if you have 2, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Per hour. So
Imagine
it's crazy.
Having 4.
$80 an hour.
That's why we never went out before when we had so many kids.
Until they can watch themselves.
They can watch themselves, and then it's like you're making $40 because I buy all of your things.
Yeah, seriously. But yes, my very first job was at 18 and I was working at Vons.
Oh, nice.
Which is a supermarket if nobody knows what that is.
Were you a cashier?
No, I started as a bag lady.
Like how you call it a bag lady instead of a bagger.
Like I'm walking around Vons with a shopping cart and bags.
I love it.
Yes.
Like you're homeless. Okay, so you started out as a bag lady.
Yes, and of course you do the carts and all that stuff, but I actually loved it because I needed to only work the morning shift, which was 6 to 2, which was great.
Oh, that's perfect. And then you can just go to the beach for the rest of the day.
It was amazing.
You can go to the movies at night. You can do all the things.
It was great. I literally loved it. And because I'm a morning person too. And I love getting up, and I love driving to work at dark. I don't know. It's just easier. It's faster. You get there. It's quiet. The store's not open yet. You can do what you need to do to get yourself ready. And then my lunch break was at 10, which honestly, at 18, I was having the Snickers and the juice. And then I'd go sleep in my car for an hour.
A Snickers and a Snapple.
Exactly. Or like a donut from the bakery.
You know what's funny? I love bagging groceries.
I do too.
Whenever I go to the grocery store and there isn't a bagger and they're really busy, I will literally...
You're like, move!
I'll step in there so fast and I'll be bagging like I work there.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll come up and they'll be like, okay, ma'am, I've got it. And then I'm like, just a minute. And I'll try and get them to go.
Hold
away.
on.
I'll be like, maybe you could help somebody else. I'm like, I really like doing this. And they'll look at me like, you're freaking crazy.
They're like, we hate this job.
Give me the bags.
What's so funny is I swear Ryan can tell. Sometimes I tell him, these people don't know how to bag.
Yeah.
And it drives me nuts because when you get hired, you have to watch a video and learn how to bag groceries.
Yeah.
Frozen goes with frozen, or cold goes with cold. Fragile goes with fragile, which does not bug me one bit, but I know people are into it. Household items go by itself. They don't cross-contaminate with food. Hot goes with hot, things like that. And I swear to you, these people will put my blueberries and raspberries and bananas underneath jars of pasta sauce. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, come on. Oh, it drives me nuts. So that's why I do like bagging my own groceries anytime I get the chance to. And also, I'm sorry. Also, they put one item per bag and they're like, here you go. And I'm like, what the hell is that? 15 more things can go in there. Open that puppy back up.
That is true. Some places definitely underbag.
I know. So it drives me nuts. But then I got promoted to cashier, which was a lot of fun too. And it was great. I still had my morning shift and it was wonderful.
That's nice.
Yeah, that was my first job.
My first job, I think I was probably 16 because I wanted a car. And my mom said, you have to pay for that.
Yeah.
But I worked at Quiznos.
Oh, for some reason, I think I knew this.
I was a sandwich artist.
Oh, love the terminology.
And I freaking loved it because Quiznos has delicious sandwiches. I'm a little sad they're not.
I was going to say, are they still around?
I know I've seen some around just here and there. I feel like they're very sparse. They're not as popular as they were at one point, but I loved it. We worked in a strip mall that was really popular. And so tons of people would come in and you'd see lots of people you knew, and it was really fun. And the people that we worked with were very nice. But yeah, I loved it. And I loved, you got a free sandwich every shift.
Oh, heck yeah.
And we would come up with all sorts of, and there was marinades and toasting it and all
you could
the
get
sauces.
so creative.
Oh my gosh. And Quiznos was nice because it had some very interesting sandwiches and stuff.
I can smell Quiznos right now just thinking about it.
It definitely has a very specific smell to it that you would come home smelling like sandwiches. But it wasn't bad, honestly. It could have
That's not bad.
Could be a lot worse.
Oh, I have it worse right now. I smell total fryer death when I come home, and Ryan's literally like, holy shit, Kendall, you smell so bad. Take your clothes off and don't even put them in our bedroom. Yeah. I don't even allow myself to sit on our couch when I get home. I have to change. It smells so bad. But yeah. Love Quiznos, love sandwiches. R.I.P. I wish there was still some more around here. But it's always when you're road tripping somewhere and you're like, oh, let's randomly stop at the gas station. There's a Quiznos. You're like, oh my God.
Yeah. I haven't had one in so many years, but sometimes I think about I still remember some of the sandwiches that we used to make. Sometimes I think, why am I not making Quiznos sandwiches for dinner?
That's a great idea.
Because some of them were like a mesquite chicken where you just dip it in this little marinade. It's just like chicken strip, like chicken breast chunked up, and ranch and cheddar cheese and toasted and melted. Oh my gosh. I was like, this would be so good. So
Your kids would love it.
maybe we should do that. What's for dinner? Quiznos.
Quiznos, mom style. Bitches.
Yeah. We're doing the top 3 Quiznos sandwiches. Anyways, we'll continue on. After your bag lady days, then what happened?
I don't know the series of events because it gets a little wishy-washy. I did work for my aunt during the summers at her business with my sister, and we were little assistants for her. We would go pick up orders that she needed. We'd go pick up wood or bricks or random shit in the back of a box truck or do paperwork, or honestly sometimes just pick up lunch for the day, and that was all we did. But it was great. It was awesome because it was nice working with my sister and my aunt, and then my mom started working there. Yeah, it was just fun. And then we would do that in the summertime. And then when I went to college, when I moved to Hawaii, I started working at an acai bowl shop. It was like a health food kind of a thing. It was amazing. And it's called Da Cove. And it's like one of the most popular spots in Honolulu to get acai bowls. Yeah, and it's freaking fantastic. They would serve bowls, smoothies, and then randomly we would do omelets that were freaking delicious. And wraps. And then in the evenings, they would do kava, which is like the Hawaiian drink that it's legal, but it gets you in this weird, funky high, kind of like your body relaxes, your mind relaxes. It's really beautiful. And they would do like kava nights in the evening, which very randomly, my best friend, Alicia in California, her husband is part Hawaiian and his parents live in Hawaii. I guess his uncle was the uncle that would come in and do the kava stuff. So I knew him.
What?
Yes. And she was like, Kendall, this is so random. Do you ever remember this guy named yada, yada, yada? And I was like, yeah. And he would do kava. I'm like, yeah. She was like, that's my husband's uncle. I was like, small world. But yes, that was really cool. And then I started working at a preschool. And that's because I was getting my education degree at the same time. So it worked out perfectly. I started in the 2s, which was so much fun. And then I went to the 4s, which was even more fun. But I will say this, actually, that's where I fell in love with the name Maverick. In the 2s class, there was this cute little Asian boy, and his name was Maverick, and he was so adorable. He was charismatic, and there was something about him. He was just so cute. And I was just like, oh my God, I just love him. And ever since then, I just love the name Maverick. And yeah, that was really fun. That was a lot of fun. The preschool days were super fun.
Yeah. How interesting.
What about you?
So after my sandwich artist days, I got a job at a camera store / photography studio, which was very fun because I love photography.
Yeah.
And so we were selling cameras, but we also had a studio in the back. So I learned how to do that kind of stuff. But then we were also developing film and printing out people's stuff, which I don't know if you know this, but if you go to the really good ones, they see all of your images because we would color correct them basically.
Oh.
So they weren't too green or too blue or whatever. So you'd sit there and you'd go through and you would color correct every single image. So you would see
oh my God,
all the people's stuff, which was a very interesting sneak peek into a few different worlds that you would never have a chance to see.
Yeah.
It was in southern Utah and we lived near Colorado City, which is where all of the polygamists live. And one of their top photographers would come and get all his film developed there. And so we would see all these polygamists on vacation, celebrating birthdays, celebrating weddings with really old guys and really young girls.
That's wild.
It was crazy. So we would always be like, oh my gosh.
Oh.
Yeah. So that was very interesting. But it was also fun because I just love photography and it was something really cool to do. And then after that, when me and Andrew traveled with Acquire the Fire, that was a job, but we didn't get paid to do it.
Yeah.
So that one felt like a job because you were like working. The first year I worked in the finance office, so I did bank deposits. And then the second year I was a video director. So that was super fun. I would 100% do that job again. It's stressful, but really fun. And then before me and Andrew got married, when I went back to Utah, I worked at a family practice, like doctor's office at the front desk. So I just checked people in all the time.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know that about you.
Yeah.
That's cool.
After we got married and we moved to North Carolina, I worked at a dermatologist office and I got to be a medical assistant, which requires zero training.
You're like, FYI.
FYI. But what was really nice, there was a PA that worked there and she was amazing. She was this gorgeous woman with the most amazing skin and high cheekbones. And she was so smart. I was always like, wow, Miss Bass is amazing. She would let me do things and teach me things that I'm not 100% sure I was allowed to be doing.
Oh, for sure.
But she was like, you need to go back to school and be a PA. You could do this. And I was just like,
you're like, the schooling sounds like it sucks.
Like, I looked into it. It's like 7 years, 11 years. I don't have any degrees. I hadn't gone to college. I'm like, that's a lot of time. Like,
yeah. And money.
It's a lot of time, but I'll just stay here. Like, I'm good.
Straight up. You're like, can I just do it illegally?
Yeah. I can just sit here and assist you with whatever you're doing. I'm fine. So
that's so funny. Yeah. After that, I'm probably missing some jobs, but honestly, oh well. Yeah. After that, I actually got my foot into the restaurant industry, which I guess has changed my life forever because I'm still in it. But I got a job as a hostess at a Mexican restaurant, and it was a very busy one where literally it took years to move up in there, from being host to busser to food runner to whatever else you want to call it. Then you could be a server, but it literally took years, too long for my patience. So I was there for, I don't even know how long. And then I finally moved up, and then I was actually never a server. But then I ended up being like, you know what, I have to go find something else. I need better tips. I need something different. So then I ended up going to a sushi restaurant, getting a bartending job, which got me going with not being a host anymore, which was great. And then from there, I ended up working as another bartender at another restaurant, and then a server at a Thai food restaurant. And then I think that was it. I've only ever been in the service industry, and then I moved back to LA, was a bartender and server, and then moved here. Yeah. Still bartending and serving.
Oh, and then you had that nanny job in between.
Oh, yeah, I did. Actually, you're right. Yeah. I did have a nanny job, which was absolutely amazing.
I love how you're working with kids and alcohol.
Girl, my days, when I tell you.
And right now you're still just working with kids and alcohol.
I know, but it's my kid. But what's funny is my schedule when I was nanny and bartending was insane.
Oh, I bet.
It was because I was nannying full time Monday through Friday and sometimes Saturday. Ooh. Yeah. And it was a lot. It was from 7 or 8 in the morning until 4. And literally
and then you'd go to your bartending job after.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
And when I say till 4, I was also I was an hour and a half from my house. So I was also driving 3 hours a day going to and from, but it was well worth it. They paid me really well. And I even was able to buy a car. Yeah. I was able to save a ton of money. It was fantastic.
Isn't it funny when you're that young? You can do that for such a long time.
Oh my God.
And you're fine. And can you imagine right now?
No.
Doing those same jobs?
Well, I mean, I kind of do. I do watch Mav all day, but not all day. I watch him like half the day, and then I go to work until I usually don't get home until 11, sometimes past 11. Yeah, and I have to do it all over again. But yeah, it's exhausting.
Yeah,
but my goal now is to be a stay-at-home mom.
I like it. That's a good goal,
and I'm gonna get there somehow.
You will.
I don't know how, but I will.
Yeah. After I did the dermatology one, I got pregnant, and then I just had babies for 5 or 6 years straight.
Yeah, for real.
And I didn't work that whole time because we did the math. After I had my first one, we did the math. And for me to go back to work at the dermatologist's office after paying for childcare, I would literally be making $3 an hour to work.
That's stupid.
A job for 8 hours a day. And I said, we could find somewhere else to save $3 an hour and me stay home all day and not have to do this.
Yeah.
And so that's what we did. And then we never went back. And then in all of those years raising the kids, I did a few different art commissions where people would ask me to do art for gifts or whatever.
That's awesome.
I was not getting paid very much for those, but it was a few $100 here and there. Mm-hmm. And then I had done photography off and on throughout the years for friends and family and things like that. So I would do that towards... When my kids started getting older, I started doing that more where I had time and ways to schedule it to where like Andrew could be home so I could go do photo shoots and stuff like that. So that helped supplement here and there, but it was never anything super consistent. So
yeah,
I'm honestly really glad we actually sat down and did the math before I went back to work, because I enjoyed spending so much time with my kids, and I enjoyed being home with them. And you talked about Maverick coming in and laying in your bed. That is some of my favorite memories with my kids. When they were little, they would all come in and get all snuggly in between me and Andrew. And there was a point where there was literally 3 of them in the bed with us. And it was so sweet. And they are so nice in the morning because they're all happy and rested, and they're in that sweet little mood. But anyway, so yeah, I just did odd jobs and stuff like that. And then when we were in Virginia, before we came here, we had a dog breeding business that we started. So we did that for probably 5 years. And then when we moved here, we started the pool cleaning business. So that's a random list of things.
It is, but I guess
that I've done.
But if it works, it works.
But it's one of those things. I've always been open to learning something new, and I've always been open to whatever pays the bills. You know what I mean? If we enjoy it and if we can make it work, then let's do it. So yeah, now I just get to sell fancy purses, and that's fun.
I love it.
That's having a job for fun.
Yeah, and that's fun.
And I like that, and I enjoy it. So
that's great. Good for you.
So yeah.
When I was younger, I kept telling my parents I wanted to be a goat farmer in China.
Oh
and I'm so far from that now.
I love it. I could totally see you doing that, though.
I'm so far from that, but it's funny.
So funny. I always said I wanted to be an anesthesiologist.
Oh my God. How
I know.
Random.
Isn't that weird? I always liked the idea of the medical field, and I always did good in school. So I feel like I could have made it through medical school at some point. But once I got to 18, I was like, I want to enjoy life.
I don't want to go to school for 10
really
years.
Kind of like, I don't know how much I care about having a really big career.
Oh, totally.
You know what I mean? So I've always said, do what you want to do what you love. And there's always ways to make money. I feel
100%.
There's so many random things you can do that totally add up over time. And if you can learn how to live frugally, you can have more and more options to do what you really want to do. So,
totally.
I don't know.
Yeah. I always thought I'd be in a field of some type of animal work or welfare or something. I just do not have, I have the heart for it. I have the world's biggest heart for the animals and any type of living creature, but I cannot do, I would not be able to do it like at all. I could never see an animal in pain or have to put something down or anything like that. If I could be an animal doula, I'd get behind that. I would love to just
a professional animal doula.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I could totally be the doula to help birth any type of baby.
I'm 100% creating a logo for that in my mind right now, and it might pop up in your text messages later this week.
Our next door neighbor, at one time, there's a few times she was like, oh, babies are coming. And I'm like, keep me on deck. Like, I am there. And then literally one time she was like, oh yeah, Bunny Rabbit should be coming any day now. And I'm like, oh my gosh, let me know. She's like, yep, she's pulling her fur out. I was like, okay, so are we talking hours or days? She's like, I don't know yet. I was like, you better call me.
Maybe we could do a joint venture and you could be an animal doula and I could be an animal maternity photographer.
Look at us. Oh my gosh. Have you seen those great maternity photos of pregnant ass dogs?
Yes, I have. We could be the tag team duo. I'm creating a name in my head as well. You'll get that later too.
Oh my God, I love it. But yes, I honestly cried when she said the babies were born without me being there. And I was like, oh, I wanted to be there.
I felt like a doula when we were breeding dogs.
For sure you were. Yeah. I've seen dog births a few times, like face to face. And it's very interesting. The whole eating the sack and all that. But what's so interesting to me is how these animals, they don't scream of pain. They don't really do much. They just poop them out and it's just no biggie. And we're over here screaming bloody murder.
Yeah.
Doing anything possible. I mean, animals are so strong. It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild. Some of the things you see.
I just pictured myself being a doula for a cow birth, which LOL would just, I would die.
Birth is such an interesting process, just in general.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. Well, maybe that's what I meant to do. Who knows?
Well, on that note, what are you cooking this week?
I will say this. I didn't have a good recipe. I actually had a recipe fail.
Oh no.
It was
what
awful.
happened?
It was so bad. I should have made the grits that I wanted. So I was initially making grits because I'm craving Waffle House, which Ryan was like, well, just go after you're done. I was like, hell yeah. So I really wanted grits. And then the last second I was like, I'll just make oatmeal. It's probably better for me. I could put other things in it. So I started making oatmeal like I always do, just water and oats on the stove. And then it all depends on what you add to it after, right? Yeah. So I added what I normally do as well. Chia seeds, sliced almonds, banana, golden raisins, and some type of sweetener and a little bit of milk. Well, I added maple syrup, which I thought would be delicious. And then I also added some of my soy milk, which I also thought would be delicious. And I think it was just too sweet. I don't know. I don't know what happened. I think I also put too much salt in the water for the oatmeal.
Oh no.
Oh no is right. So it was salty sweet. And then I was like, maybe it needs more brown sugar. It was terrible. I could not even choke it down. Literally. I had 3 bites and I was like, okay, I'm done. I'll just wait for Waffle House.
Oh, that's so sad.
It was so sad because I was like, oh, this is going to be so good. It looks so tasty. It's going to fill me up.
I hate when you have this high expectation of something and then you make it and you're like, oh, that was not what I wanted.
And what's crazy is I've made it so many times before and I was like, I knew the taste I was expecting and the taste I got, I was like, what the fuck is that?
Ugh.
It was awful.
Sucks.
Yeah, so that was my breakfast. It's still sitting out there.
Oh, dang it.
Terrible. Recipe fail.
Recipe fail. This week I made the biggest pork shoulder I think I've ever bought. Mm-hmm. In the store, I was like, oh yeah, that'll fit in my big crock pot. And then I got it home and it was literally like almost to the top of the rim.
Yeah.
I have the big family size. It's an Instant Pot actually, but it's the family size one. So it's got a wider, not the super tall ones. And so I put it in and I was like, pretty sure this is over the max capacity. I'm like, we'll just see what happens. I just put the lid on and left it. And then when I got back from work, I checked it and it was so big. It was only halfway done.
Oy.
So then I just let it go again for another 20 hours. So it literally sat in my slow cooker for 30 hours before I took it out. And
oh my God.
Yeah, Andrew goes, are you going to do something with that?
Like you thought he just left it?
He said, are you going to do something with that meat that's been in the crock pot for 30 hours? I was like, oh yeah, I am. I'm clearly not going to make it all for one meal. We're portioning this out. So it worked out good because I got 4 family of 6 size portions out of this.
That's fantastic.
Pork shoulder. So I portioned it all out. And then the portion that we saved, I threw in a pan with a bunch of yummy seasonings, green chili flakes, chipotle pepper flakes, chili powder, cumin, garlic, onion, salt, pepper. And then I took a little bit of the juice that was left from the meat and I poured that. And so it seared up and made it crispy, but still kind of saucy. Mm-hmm. And then I made freaking delicious homemade salsa.
Ooh, yum.
The salsa was the perfect spice. So we did tacos with my crispy pork shoulder and the salsa.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Like traditional street tacos.
Just traditional street tacos. We didn't do anything else on them. And oh my gosh, they were so good. And my youngest son has literally been eating the salsa for 2 days straight. I think that's all he's eaten for 2 days is salsa.
That's not a bad snack though.
I saw him this morning when I was going to the gym at 5:30 this morning. He was sneaking downstairs. He was grabbing the chips. He was grabbing the salsa and a blueberry muffin.
Good combo.
5:30 this morning. And he was like, Mom, this stuff is so good.
Oh my God, that needs to be a staple in your house.
I was like, I definitely need to make more of that because I friggin' love some salsa. And
yeah,
it was,
me too.
Oh my gosh, it was perfect. It was so good.
Yum.
So yeah, there is more pork in our future. It's in the freezer right now. So.
Be prepared for pork recipes. That sounds good. Yeah. Well, wonderful. Great. So now everybody knows where we came from.
I know. What are your guys' jobs that you've had? It's so interesting when I hear about people's background
of jobs.
History.
Yeah, it's so interesting to me too.
So much of it has to do with who you know or who your parents know or the city that you live in or the type of neighborhood you grew up. Some of that really comes into play about where you're going to end up working because when you're young, it's like, how am I going to get there?
Yeah.
How is this going to fit into my school or my sports or whatever it might be? It's so interesting.
I agree with that 100%. Well, let us know, guys.
Yeah, let us know. Have a fabulous week.
Yeah. It's about to be hot over here for us, so.
It's already hot.
I know.
I feel like it's definitely come.
Looking at the weather, I was like, it's going to be in the 90s, which means it's going to be in the hundreds.
That's why we're in Kendall's room.
Staying away from the humidity.
That's right.
All right, guys. We'll have a beautiful day.
Wear sunscreen.
Sayonara,
Love
suckers.
you, bye. And that, party people, wraps up another delightful episode of Parties to Playdates.
We hope you're leaving with a smile, a story, and maybe a tip or two.
Remember, life's journey is better shared with a friend.
And we're so grateful to be part of yours.
If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to rate and subscribe to our show.
Your support keeps our community growing and our stories flowing. We want to hear from you. Please send us your thoughts, ideas, and questions to partiestoplaydates@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Parties to Playdates.
Until next time, keep embracing the chaos and finding the joy.
Take care and stay connected, party people.
Bye for now, and don't forget to laugh a little extra today.
Bye.